by Musa Sirima, but I think it's one of those that have lapsed. I'll direct that as soon as the committee is reconstituted, your matter be placed before them so that they can deal with the matter together with the committee for finance, not finance, for budget, so that where there are percentages locked in the constitution, they must be respected. And we'll ensure that that is done, because I'm a firm believer in CDF and what CDF does in the country, and any shilling less on CDF affects wananchi directly. It is so directed. Thank you. Yes, Wamboka, you have something else?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm well guided on the issue of liaison, and similarly on the issue of CDF. It's just a worrying trend that even Kera money, Honorable Speaker, you may not be aware, and we will be bringing a substantive motion to deal with that. Even Kera money has been cut, revised downwards.
I thought Kera is subject of a court dispute between a group, I understand, surrogate litigants engineered by COG, competing against the interests of your constituencies in management of some Kera funds. It is a matter that we are dealing with.
Let's, Honorable Speaker, we will need your direction, because we need to be very firm. If they are surrogating, COG surrogating.
A bit, you know, we came from a very long recess. Last year, we published the County Additional Allocations Bill of 2024-2025, which went to the Senate, and they put this RMLF money, road maintenance levy fund money, in that bill. We were to go into mediation, and unfortunately that mediation process lapsed at the end of the last session. Those who were here last week, we just republished, and I think we've already read for the first time, that bill republished without the RMLF money in the bill. And we will process it without RMLF, because that is the right thing to do. And probably is a good time to speak to our colleagues in the other house that many counties, I had an engagement with two governors, and let me not mention their names here, Honorable Speaker, but they were telling me in one of them in their county, they have money for KISIP, KUSIP, going to about 1.1 billion shillings that they cannot access because some other governors want to fight over RMLF. And they were telling me in their county, RMLF, they would only get 113 million. And the governor was asking me, what sense is there to fight over 113 million and lose for my county money going especially to the most critical elements like healthcare, provision of water, and even roads, urban roads in towns that are helping that county generate additional revenue to the tune of 1.1 billion shillings. Honorable Speaker, there are few governors, very few of them, who are hinging on this thing of RMLF. Honorable Speaker, you remember even when we were debating this bill last year, we reminded them that back in 2021, when we had the same stalemate, the national government in one instance added a whopping 53 billion shillings to the division of revenue bill for them to be able to cater for roads in counties, Honorable Speaker. Ask Kenyans anywhere in this country where they see governors doing roads. And I'm not asking members of parliament, I'm asking Kenyans. Kenyans can tell us which governors are doing any roads anywhere. If anything, Honorable Speaker, what happens is that the roads that are being maintained by KERA, governors then duplicate the same roads so that they loot from public coffers, Honorable Speaker. And we must call out this corruption for what it is, because it is nothing other than blatant corruption in the counties, Honorable Speaker. And they are not fighting for this money because they intend to maintain any road. In my constituency, Honorable Speaker, I have not a single road that I can show that the county government of Kiambu that has maintained in the last 3 years. None. And if you speak to constituents around the country, they will tell you the same. Honorable Speaker, read the Controller of Budget reports. How many counties are devoting money to development? Many are busy devoting money to freebies, things that are politically expedient and that are exciting to the masses, but not those sustainable things that members of parliament ensure through proper oversight of RMLF that KERA and KURA are actually maintaining roads in our counties and constituencies, Honorable Speaker. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, we have pleaded with the executive through the office of the Deputy President, who is the chairperson of IBEC, to call to order through IBEC the Council of Governors. First, to withdraw that case in court, because there is absolutely no reason why 10 billion shillings would be lying idle at a time when we are about to get into the short rains, and Kenyans will be crying about roads that they cannot access their farms and get their farm produce to markets because governors are holding money through a court process, Honorable Speaker. We are pleading, and we have asked the Deputy President through IBEC to speak to the Council of Governors to first withdraw that case. But also, as a House, we will process the additional county allocations bill without RMLF. And let me tell them, it will never pass through the floor of this House. Let me not talk about courts. This House, this floor, RMLF is a live wire that you will never touch. And we will consult with the leadership in the Senate so that no senator even imagines that they can amend that bill when it goes to them to reintroduce RMLF. Because it will end up in another stalemate, a mediation process that we can tell them even before it starts, it will go nowhere. Leave RMLF money, let KERA and KURA maintain the roads they maintain. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, speaking to the executive and the minister in charge of roads and infrastructure, and probably together with the Council of Governors, it is high time now that we properly reclassified all our roads. Proper reclassification. I have seen in some countries, Honorable Speaker, if you go to South Africa, you will see a road marked with numerals and alphanumeral coding that clearly tells members of the public that this is a county road, this is a municipal road, this is a national government road. We must get to that level where the Ministry of Roads and Infrastructure does proper classification of roads such that if we have national government roads class A, let us know this is NGA, national government class A. If we have a county government road, let it be CG class D or class A or class B, so that even Kenyans, and name those roads, so that also these members of parliament are not bashed by their constituents, because we are the ones constituents are close to. They keep bashing members of parliament over roads that do not concern members of parliament because they have no budget for them. And the governors who have money for maintaining these roads are busy buying chicks. Some buy maize flour, some buy dengu to give as freebies to constituents to excite people for political expediency. It is high time we also called out, and Kenyans must begin reading those Controller of Budget reports to see that counties are not devoting money to development. And that is why now we can't satisfy the insatiable greed for more money to steal. We can't satisfy their greed, honestly. We must maintain our position to offer meaningful oversight over Kera, Kura, and Kenha to deliver on maintenance and construction of roads. Because you know, again, they assume that this money is managed by members of parliament. None of these 290 members of parliament representing constituencies, or even the 47 women reps, or even the nominated 12 members, manage this money. This money is managed through the regional offices of Kera, under the Director General of Kera and Kura. Members of parliament come nowhere near it. Members of parliament don't even sit in the procurement committees. Our only interest is proper and meaningful oversight for delivery of services to the Kenyan people. The others are only bothered about what they will steal. They want to steal from hospitals. They have looted hospitals. They have looted the water projects. They now are after roads. Honestly, who will satisfy the insatiable greed, Mr. Speaker? We cannot, and we will not satisfy by processing that additional county allocations bill with RMLF included. I hope my leader of majority in the Senate has heard me. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just want to add a few things to what the majority leader said. Mr. Speaker, this issue of RMLF has been on this floor now for some time, even since last parliament, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what I have come to realize, there is a systematic program going on in this country to disconnect members of this house from the public completely. Mr. Speaker, I don't know where that plan is hatched, Mr. Speaker, whether it is in the executive or in the judiciary or somewhere. Mr. Speaker, there is a serious plan to disconnect members of parliament, especially members of the National Assembly, from the public, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, people tell you that it is not your work to bring development to the people. If I cannot bring development to my people, what is the plan? What is the constitutional requirement of representation? You represent people so that you can speak on their behalf on the floor of their house to get resources to the public, Mr. Speaker, if I understand it well. Mr. Speaker, this is something that this house will not accept. Mr. Speaker, look at what's happening in the counties. We are not against devolution. We completely support devolution, Mr. Speaker. But Mr. Speaker, we have to analyze since the last 10 or 12 years whether devolution has worked for this country. The only things we see in devolution is conferences every year that shows us beans, ndengu, carrots, cucumber, cassavas grown in our areas, Mr. Speaker. Those things have been happening since independence. My grandmother has been growing cassava since Kenya became independent, Mr. Speaker. That's what you are being shown in devolution conferences. There is nothing serious that has happened in terms of devolution since devolution came into place, Mr. Speaker. Truth must be said. We must be truthful to the people, Mr. Speaker. Sure. Look at the amount of money that has been devolved in this country. Trillions of shillings since devolution came into place. Nothing to show for it. Nothing, completely nothing, Mr. Speaker. Let's be honest to Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, we don't want to describe them as devolved corruption, but people are preoccupied. Mr. Speaker, can we have order here? People are preoccupied with the little money that has been devolved through NGCDF, little money that has been devolved to the constituencies through RMLF, and people don't take note of the billions of shillings that are being devolved every financial year, Mr. Speaker. Counties are getting their money. They are never in arrears. Even if they're in arrears, is 1 month, 2 months, in the end the money goes down to the ground. There are counties that are holding billions of shillings in their central bank accounts. I was reading in the newspaper the other day that there are counties that have not spent 48 billion shillings, Mr. Speaker. They are lying idle in their account. And they are still demanding for more money. They're saying, oh, the national government has not devolved. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, these people who are calling themselves here Nairobi, Kera and Kura, these people must know that these are organs of national government. They are not part of county government. They are oversighted by this house. This Director General of Kera, Mr. Speaker, this man is a joker. I can tell you for truth. He thinks that he is supposed to report to counties. Which governor has oversight him? Which county government has oversight him? That man must be dragged here to this house under full committee of the full house, Mr. Speaker. And he must be told in a no certain terms that he is supposed to report and to the National Assembly, Mr. Speaker. This is a man who thinks that he is supposed to work with county government. Which county government is giving him money? Mr. Speaker, you can go around to every constituency today, and we'll take you around as a speaker. The roads that are maintained by constituency development, by this RMF through the constituency are known. In every constituency, they're not even more than 4 or 5. Majority of the roads are classified as county roads, and they're in pathetic condition, all of them. And they're asking for the RLMF for the constituency. The ones for the constituency are well maintained. Actually, the national government is trying its best to even tarmac majority of the county roads. Mr. Speaker, we cannot take this thing anymore lying down. We will put our foot down. We are tired of these shenanigans of counties and judiciary all the time saying CDF is unconstitutional, and these people are enjoying their monies. They are not delivering any services to the public, and the people who are supposed to do that work are being curtailed. Mr. Speaker, this matter must come to an end, and we are going to pass, as the majority leader said, the county revenue allocation, the extra money we are giving them through the bill that has been brought here, without RLMF. If they don't want money, the bill will get stuck here for good. You can continue with the one that you have been given at the beginning of the year. And I want to tell the Council of Governors, please, don't joke with members of Parliament. They have been elected just like the way you have been elected. You have votes, we got votes the same way you got votes. Some of you, we just go through waves. You know, there are people who are saying, when the new constitution was being formulated, governors should have been appointed job. There are people who are saying that. Yes. We can amend the constitution. Yes. If need be. Yes. So, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, we are saying, let us respect everyone's work as enshrined in the constitution and in the laws, Mr. Speaker, and we must make sure that we are not supposed to be made like we are not supposed to bring any development to our constituency. A governor told me, Mr. Speaker, he told me on my face that, you know, your work is representation and oversight. You are just to go and make noise in Parliament. That is all. That's your work. You don't have any other work. I told him, my friend. You should have slept. My friend, when we are going to do the division of revenue bill, we will give you very little money if you talk like that. That's when you realize what power has the constitution given to the National Assembly. So, Mr. Speaker, we support the devolution, but the county, what is this thing called? The Council of Governors. These are more first thing first. It's not in the constitution. I don't know, it's in the County Government Act or something, Mr. Speaker, which we can repeal even that one. They must respect members of Parliament henceforth. And that is not anything we are begging for. Mr. Speaker, it's an order. And we will stand firm to make sure that our constituency gets development as required by law. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Your leaders have spoken. Can